Hey out there, this is old Buck Dell introing today, and with me is
Old Buck Dave,
yeah.
back again.
Hey, got
Lot,
a lot of hot topics there, buddy.
lot of hot topics
Yeah, this
today.
is a two cup conversation. First thing on my brain here is, did you happen to catch the World Series?
I caught bits and pieces of it. Mostly, I caught the, the scores at the. So,
Okay,
unfortunately, I didn't get to see a lot, and I do like to watch baseball.
well I know, but I'm going to mention something to you that, I mean, I watched it on and off. I usually try to flip during a sports game. I try to flip to a PBS channel and watch nature that doesn't have commercials, and I jump back and forth, because if I jump back and forth on a regular channel, my cable company knows that, and they time all the commercials at the same time. That's true. I'm telling you. I tried that many times, and I jump back and forth so I don't have to pay. And then, anyhow, so about baseball. So I'm watching the game, and I mean, clearly these guys are good. So, and I think in the bottom of the third,
For
uh,
our listeners in Trans Siberia, tell us who were the finalists in the World Series. Can you tell us that?
Atlanta Braves and the Houston Astros.
Okay.
Yeah, these are. Uh, but I'm not going to go into the whole analyzing the whole game. All I know is I played baseball, and I was always. I mean, I watched the pitchers. I don't know why they don't just throw the ball or, in the strike zone. But here's a case where the batter hits a home run. It was two men on. He hits a home run, and I was watching him swing. He missed two of them, and I said, "Man," I'm looking at that, and I said, "Man, this guy, he's swinging that bat so fast. It was a blur. I mean, it was just."
Hmm.
I said, "If he connects with one of those things," and sure enough, he connected one and knocked it out of the stadium over the far, I think, left center wall. And I said, "My, to hit a ball that hard." And good thing he hit it, because when you swing like that and don't hit the ball, you practically twist yourself out of shape. I mean, you're just swinging with all your might. So
Oh yeah, yeah.
for
You
the
could hurt
baseball,
yourself.
yeah, you really hurt yourself. And for the baseball fans, I said, I'll be that. That is really, really amazing that he caught that like that. And of course, they won, but it was a good game. I mean, I
Hmm.
jumped around, but when I saw that, I said, I never saw a guy swing so hard in my life, and I never saw a ball go so far. So I just went, oh, unbelievable. Because I used to be a
Uh,
pitcher, and guys used to hit him, and I used to hit him. And
Guys
man,
hit you
well, uh,
when you pitched?
yeah, I mean, I
You actually.
didn't strike all the guys out. I depended
Oh,
on my fielders to back me up,
yeah.
but
You were hoping no balls got hit to the right side of the infield. Is that it?
right,
Or, or,
but
or Dave with his Coke bottle glasses was trying to feel his way around the infield.
you have to throw the ball. You have to throw the ball slow, so they, overpowered. Always keep it on the left side of the field. But I was truly impressed by that. So if you're not a baseball fan, let me just tell you, to do that is absolutely amazing. And he won the MVP for that game. He won the MVP. That's going to go down in history as one of the longest shots. They'll be replaying that for years and years.
So who was the hitter?
Actually, off the top of my head, I forgot. I didn't bother
Some
writing it
guy.
down. Well, it was just
Okay,
one of the
okay,
Brave
that's
players.
fair.
So
One of the
anyhow,
Braves.
it was a
The Braves won the series.
good game.
Big underdogs, as it turns out. They
Yep,
had like the worst record going into the playoffs, and they prevailed.
they prevailed.
So
So I had another thought. I had
I'm, I'm
another. You're hanging
I
there. You
I
ready for
am,
this one?
as Ross Perot used to say, I'm all ears.
Hey,
Now, see, there's enough old bucks out there that'll actually get that.
I they'd have to know Ross, what Ross looks like, right? The
Exactly.
the not long ago, we had to do some flying, and if you notice, the latest, was it Southwest or something, canceled umpteen flights. No, it was American Airlines.
Well, they both had episodes. American recently, prior to that, Southwest as
So,
well.
but you saw that. You're aware of what's, was
I'm
it?
aware of that.
Okay,
Yeah. I'm,
I'll bet you that there are at least a dozen people, if they only tune into this broadcast, will have been subject to that airline cancellation and delays, and all the inconveniences of being there 2 hours ahead of time and then have to stay 2 more hours before you can get off the ground. I mean, it's like the whole schedule is just whacked out. Nobody knows for certain.
Mm-hmm.
So we recently had to take a flight, and
Long flight.
yeah, a long flight. My lovely wife was getting on the plane. She says, we're going to be delayed. And I thought, and she's trying to make an international connection.
Mm-hmm.
So she calls me back. She says, we're going to be delayed another 45 minutes. I said, I'm thinking, what? She says, the weather delay. And I'm not that far from that airport where she's taking off from. Thinking, man, I don't see this. I just know there's no rain. What's going on?
Yeah.
All in all, she missed the connection. And we thought, well, that was that. But it turns out the connection was grounded too. Now, herein lies the caveat.
Oh, boy.
The connection's 2 hours late. So she makes the connection and they delay it for 2 hours. So we think that's all good. Then they say, we're canceling the flight because we don't have a pilot because of this whole backup. And long story short on this, she ends up sleeping on the floor in Atlanta airport and doesn't leave till actually like 13 hours later. It was
like the next day.
Yeah, it was terrible. But here's my theory on this. I think something that we may need, and I'm going to go on a limb here thinking that the old Bucks, whoops.
Hey, we're part of the world. That's okay.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that the old Bucks are going to predict that these weather patterns are going to be one of the biggest things they don't talk about when it comes to weather, climate change. If we have these planes being delayed so erratically because of the weather, like a major storm in the middle of the country or a major hub gets blown out, I think America is going to get more aggravated about that than sea level rise and temperature. This is the old Buck said it first.
Wow, you're going out on.
I'm going out on a limb. It's going to be stuff like that, airplane delays and cancellations that finally get people angry about climate. It won't care how many people get flooded on the ocean. It won't be how hot it is. They're going to find out that they can never count on getting off the ground because of the weather. Oh, being a weather delay in Dallas, we can't fly. And we are going to go crazy. And that's all I had to say about that. And thank you, Delta.
Right. We're going to write this down. That's going to be the driver that's actually going to get people to do something about climate change.
And you notice as I'm taking my finger like Ollie used to do too. What was it? Ollie and Stan and Laura,
and Oliver Hart.
Stan and Laura, what are you?
Which one am I?
No,
which one am I?
It's like Stan would take his tie and go. And that's what I'm going to say. That's all I have to say about that. So
okay, yeah. All right. So we're writing that down. That's today. All right, that's going to be episode.
Anyway, that's all I got on my brain. What's up with you?
Well, I kind of have I have a little rant or two. We should apologize for all the ranting we've been doing of late, but my ice maker stopped working. No ice coming out. What do you do? So
Google it.
Well, I did. Well, first of all, I had to bang on it to actually break the cover loose to open the ice maker. I had to move the refrigerator to be able to open the door enough to be able to get the ice maker out. So I was grouchy to begin with, and I looked in that thing, and it was like an iceberg in there. It's like, damn, the Titanic this would have taken the Titanic down. So I Google it. Guess what? It's a problem. It's a problem, particularly with this brand refrigerator. I'm not going to say what the brand is, but it's 2 syllables. And the first one could be your uncle. And the second one is like the past perfect tense of sing. So I'm sure you can figure out who it is. Anyway, there's a class action suit against these guys on this thing. That's how bad it is. So I thought, well, I gotta thaw this thing out. I'm chiseling, I'm hammering away, I'm trying to break chunks off.
Why don't you take out the magic wand, and just touch it and say,
Well, I took out the magic
The
hair
hammer.
dryer. I blasted that hair dryer in there. Water's dripping everywhere, and I'm chipping chunks and blah
do,
blah
do they
blah.
do they recommend that?
As it turns out, no.
Oh,
As it turns out, no. But I got it kind of emptied out, and it said it'll take, okay, put it back together. It'll take 12 hours to start making ice. All right, let's see what happens. So 12 hours go by, nothing. 24 hours go by, nothing. All right. After 24 hours, I go online and I order a replacement part for inside, which I'm sure is now fried, broken, frozen, whatever. Okay, now we're at 36 hours. I get a notification that my part has been shipped. Okay,
mm-hmm.
the help is on the way. And as soon as I finish reading that, I hear this clunk, 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 clunk. The ice maker started working.
So what do you think it was? What do you it just didn't fill up or something, or what?
Well, I think it just took a long time for it to get back into gear there. Yeah, so I have a spare part now for the next time if it really breaks. So that was my dumbness.
So
Anyway,
the ice makers are problematic. I don't have one, and I don't have one in water because the water lines and ice makers for fridges cause no end of problems.
they're that's right. They're designed to clog up.
There are no end of problems. If you move it and you start, the little plastic lines break and they drip down and you have the floor, and the next thing you know, your cabinets are all wet. So
Yeah.
anyhow, well done for you. You got her sorted out.
We got her. The other thing I got was another attack by fire ants. Believe it or not.
Well, you've had, I think that's the second
It's
ordeal
my
for you, isn't
second
it?
time. Yeah, I
Yeah.
had fire ants last year. They destroyed my feet. They looked like elephant feet when they were done with them.
I think I
But this
remember.
time it
I think
was,
I remember laughing about that or teasing you about that.
yeah. My wife says the other day, she says, I'm just not going to put as many plants in this year. Because she had a lot of plants in last year, and heavy pots. I got
So,
growing pains lifting
but
them.
did you step in another anthill, pal? I mean,
No,
it's
no.
easy.
She came home from the florist one day, or from the lawn and garden place. The whole back of the car was filled with potted plants.
Aha.
I said, so much for not doing so much this year. I started taking them out, and all of a sudden, why are my hands burning and stinging? And I looked down, and there's fire ants had come running out of the pot, and they were swarming over my hands. So my hands look like lobster hands right now. I don't
What
know.
about the car? Well, they didn't know. That's right. They didn't move
Well,
there.
I got, I put hornet spray all through the car,
Oh,
and
okay.
bought some stuff, and did all that.
Yeah, that's
So
interesting.
a friend who's a nurse said
Put what?
put steroid cream on it and take antihistamines, Benadryl. Okay,
No,
so I took two Benadryl, immediately fell asleep for a day. So
no, I can't think. I can't
I'll
take
tell
that
you,
stuff. So you
it's
basically you brought home some fresh fire ants this time.
fresh fire ants. Yeah. Oh man.
Well, for all those good listeners around the world who haven't been bitten by those things, they're pretty sneaky. They seem like they get about 200 of them crawling up, and some kind of a pheromone signal is sent,
The
and they all
signal
start
goes
biting.
out.
Yeah, they all
Oh
start biting all at the
man.
same time. So you can't, like, knock them off one at a time.
Yeah, it's nothing to be trifled with, buddy. I'm telling you.
So you got that resolved.
I got that resolved. I'm just, I'm in the process of shrinking here.
Hey, uh, uh, sometimes in life a light goes on, in your head. Have you ever had a case where you're familiar with a subject or a product or something, and one day you say, "Oh, so that's how that works," or
Mm-hmm.
you say, "Oh, that's how they did that."
Yeah, that's.
You ever had that happen?
I've had that happen. Yeah. How about you?
I
You
had
gonna
it.
tell me?
Yeah, I'm going to tell you. Recently, I had
Okay.
I was doing a I was doing a crossword puzzle. I do a local paper crossword puzzle because I know the clues. I'm used to how whoever built this puzzle, I understand how
You
how
know
he
how
makes
they
his clue.
think.
Yeah, I can't do the New York Times puzzle. So anyhow, I'm doing the puzzle, and one of the answers, was it an answer or was it a clue? Said uh, Lancelot. Okay,
Okay.
okay. What does that? What that bring to mind?
Sir Lancelot, Prince Valiant,
Right, right,
all
Sir
those
Sir Lancelot.
characters.
So, so for some reason, I'm thinking Lancelot. Now this is King Arthur, right?
Right.
And there in the same paper, there's an advertisement for a medieval festival, and they always show a guy in some armor on a horse with a lance, right?
Got it.
so, so my mind jumps. I said, Sir Lancelot. So this guy clearly lanced a lot, right? He was a knight. Get it? He
Okay.
was a Lancelot. So
He was a,
I'm thinking you could add that title to other things. Like, let's say you're a driver. You could be Sir Drives a Lot. You see where I'm going with this? So whatever you do frequently, you just
is this going to be like Bitcoin names again? If it
I,
is,
I,
if
I
it is,
laugh,
I'm out of here, buddy.
I just laughed my head off at this, thinking of all the
I'm
stuff
sure
you
you
could put.
do.
I mean, the scary part, I'm laughing by myself, and I didn't have a chance to tell you.
I can understand why.
I had to hold all this in until I got you in front of a coffee pot. So I'm thinking about
Oh
it's
man, you have my
it's like
sympathy.
it's like one time I said to myself, why would they name a truck a pickup truck? You know, because the name implies exactly what it does. You know, it's a pickup truck. So I'll tell you what,
This is the
I mean, I
stuff that keeps
really,
you up at night, huh?
yeah, no, I really laughed my head
Uh-huh.
off, and I wrote down all this stuff. I'm not going to bore you with all of it, but you just pick
Thank you.
something,
Thank you.
something that you do and add a lot around it,
Uh-huh.
like Sir writes a lot, or so. But it just struck me funny. And why I was amused at 76 years old, I don't know. But I just laughed to myself with the complete feeling that as soon as I got a hold of you, I was going to tell you, and you had to listen.
Oh, there's no place to hide here either.
God save the Queen. Okay,
Gosh.
thank you.
So, oh, you're welcome.
How about
Hey,
you? Read any good books lately? How's that for a segue?
well, I got actually, I do have a book, maybe at least one to talk about. It's not one that I read recently. It's one I read a long time ago, but there's a new movie just came out. The book was Dune by Frank Herbert.
Yeah, I read that.
Recall that?
Mm-hmm.
Came out in 66. I probably read it around 70, something like that, 71.
That was a big book.
Big book,
thick
yeah.
book.
And it spawned a series. He wrote
Mm.
3 or 4 episodes and 3 or 4 volumes. And his son picked it up and has written some more. He wrote a kind of a prequel and this and that. But I really thought it was one of the best science fiction stories I've ever read. I mean, there were so many different things going on, and it took place in
It was very creative. It was definitely very
Arrakis,
creative.
desert planet,
Mm-hmm.
these sandworms as big as a block long, and this this magic spice that would make people be able to see into the future, but it made them dope addicts as well. I mean, and and the different factions and the different parties involved, and I always used to say it was the best book ever written on long-term strategic plan. Anyway, there's a new movie out by obviously the same name. I haven't seen it yet. I want to see it, and I'd be interested in anybody else's opinion on the movie. If you see it before I do, let us know at buckstwoold@gmail.com.
Did you see the trailers on that?
I did see one trailer. Yes, I did see one trailer.
Well,
And
the special effects guys should have a field day with this one.
Yeah, I mean it's a really interesting interesting idea. It takes place like 20,000 years in the future. And here's the good thing is computers, artificial intelligence, that's all been banned. That had been banned in the past. So they were not allowed to have machines that could learn to be smarter than people. It's interesting, huh? And he wrote this in 66.
67, yeah, before it became so.
And right now, this is the big
Yeah.
controversy right now. People like Facebook, doing a deal with the devil here. Anyway.
Now, I'll have to check that out. I read that book. I remember reading it, but it was voluminous. And
yeah, excellent book.
And something else? I saw a picture of me standing in the Namib Desert.
Ooh.
Namibia.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw a picture of me standing in the Namib Desert. And I said, I don't remember half of that. I don't remember half of that. I said, I've forgotten more stuff than I can remember.
You forgot?
Yeah.
I forgot about the book or the desert?
No,
I'm
it's like that. Same way
out.
with the book. I read that book and I forgot so much of that. I just remember
the
sandworms. And I'm thinking, boy, life is so many things I've seen, and something reminds me. I said, man, I forgot all about that. I didn't even.
Oh yeah, I'm sure I forgot a ton of details.
There's a ton of details.
The ins and outs of it, but it was a really interesting book. I don't know if I read it today if I'd be as interested in it, but I thought it was pretty fascinating.
Then it was. I think I'll go see the movie anyhow because I did read the book, and I will go see if it'll come back to me maybe, and maybe it won't. But yeah, it'll be something to do.
Any hot books you want to recommend here?
Actually, this is an old author. In fact, there was a TV show based on his character, Spencer for Hire. You remember that in '87?
Oh, yeah, sure. I remember that.
Somebody gave me this, and I picked up by Robert E. Parker. And he has a bunch of books. And Spencer was one of his main character. And I'm reading one now, just real easy to read. And it's almost like the script from a play, the way he talks. And I found it, the reason I mention it is I found that book like that has been around for so many years that all of a sudden in 2021, yours truly discovers it and finds it fascinating.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, what the hell was I doing all those other times? I should have been reading this stuff years ago.
You were asleep.
Yeah. So if you haven't read Spencer for Hire, a lot of people have. I think it's very common, but I just discovered it and I said, oh, what a pleasure. How about that? The book shows up all those years later and yours truly gets to enjoy it.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah. Okay. Robert Parker, Spencer for Hire. Another oldie, what do you call him?
But
oldie but goodie, golden oldie. What did Porky Chedwick call him? I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Golden oldie.
Hey, I got a couple other points to make. A couple shows that I've been watching that have been streaming. And
in addition to all those ones you mentioned a while ago.
Well, this is present day now. Yeah, lifetime does march on, and yeah, okay.
And Netflix is 24/7, right?
It could be. No, I'm not a fanatic, but we started watching The Morning Show. It's in its second season now. It's Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon, and this is its second season. Missed the first season. Started watching it here a couple weeks ago.
What are you streaming on, Dave? What are you streaming on?
It's on Apple TV.
Oh, okay, Apple.
Okay, this is on Apple TV. Thank you for bringing that up. And I was really prepared to dislike this, but it's really good. It's really well done, and it's kind of looking, at basically what goes on. Let me start over again. It kind of talks about this kind of things that have gone on in morning TV with. It talks about some of the misogynistic stuff going on, and these two women who are in a position of power on the morning show, yet how there's all this behind the scenes negotiating and politicking. It's pretty good. I think it's pretty interesting. It's probably close to reality anyway.
So you recommend
it's
it.
fun.
There you go.
I'm giving it 5 stars.
Dave recommends it. There you go.
On the other hand, I started watching on Netflix a series called Kate. All right. Now this was I found this to be a very interesting concept that was poorly executed, shall we say. It's about this female assassin. I think it takes place in Japan. And she has been doped with radioactive polonium. All right, goes to the hospital. Well, you've got like 24 hours to live. She's starting to blister all over. And so her mission now is to find the person or persons who doped her and ask them why they did this. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And from that point on, it is one continual bloodbath. All right. It's just, her going into rooms of guys and cutting them into pieces. And it just gets just so silly. So I give that 1 star on Netflix.
Okay.
Stay away from this one, folks.
Hey, listen.
Great idea, badly done.
Since you can do Apple TV, did you ever stream that movie called Greyhound with Tom Hanks?
No.
I've always wanted to see that. I read the book, written many, many, many years ago, about a captain of a ship trying to run the gauntlet of U-boats between here and England. And then there's another one looks like Apple TV, and I guess I could subscribe to all that, but they look like they've come up with some pretty good movies on Apple TV. I think there's a big competition for who can put the best stuff out there on the streaming services.
That's what they're all about.
Yeah,
that's what they're all about. Yeah.
So if you ever see that one, Greyhound, let me know.
Okay. Yeah. Also, I've been watching some Ted Lasso on Apple TV. Again, we started late. Just started watching it recently. So binged the first season. Was everybody's, at each other's throat, and there's Ted Lasso comes in from afar. Second season, they all got to like each other, and it got really dumb. So, first season great. Second season, yeah. It won a ton of awards. It won a ton of Emmys. For what it's worth.
Okay, all you Apple streamers out there, if you got something hot you want to talk about,
give us your suggestions, folks.
We'll probably hear from Normalville.
We'll hear from Normalville for sure. Buddy.
And then
they're walking on water now after they got this #1 ranking.
We did go out on a limb on a couple of advice things or talk about some stuff, but Two Old Bucks can always. You can always ask questions, and we may or may not answer them, but BUCKSTWOOLD@gmail.com. And we'll put our collective brains together, and we'll talk a lot.
And on that note.
That's funny. I don't care what you say.
We'll talk a lot here. You called it. All
right, Old Buck Dale saying bye.
This is Old Buck Dave right behind saying so long, folks. See you next time.